Hi everybody, welcome back. It's Dana, and what I'm going to show you today for this tutorial is this little accordion album. And this is so cute. Originally, this project was put out, the instructions were put out by a company called Club Scrap. You can find them on clubscrap.com. And they are a monthly subscription scrapbooking paper kit company. And they had several different sizes of kits, and their paper, I'm going to tell you guys, is amazing quality for a pretty reasonable price too. So you can check them out at clubscrap.com. And this little album was in, wow, the instructions were in a kit from years ago. The kit name for that was called Concrete Jungle. So I don't remember what year and month that was, but this beautiful little project here was in that kit. And I've made several of these over the years. They make wonderful gifts, and they're really easy. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Here's what it looks like. There's a slip sleeve that the album fits into. And then the album itself is an accordion. You see that? But you can flip through it like this, just by turning pages. And then when you get to the end, you turn it over, and then there's the other side of the accordion. So this fits like, oh wow, I didn't even count. Let's do that really quick. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. So 38 pictures if you put a picture on every page. So that's a lot of photos. And what I did was I used, because it's a perfect size, these are my little puppies. Aren't they cute? Well, 2 of them anyway. There's a third. Okay, now I got to show you my fourth. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. He's a little pit bull boxer mix. His name is Boss. He's so cute. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I use. These are wallet size pictures, okay? Because the measurement on this finished album is going to be 4 by 3. So it's a 3 by 4 page. So wallet size photos fit awesome on this. And what I used for mine, for my pictures, I have a little HP Sprocket photo printer. And it prints these little wallet size photos, but you don't need to have one of those to use this album. A lot of 4 by 6 pictures that we take can be cropped down because we have a lot of background in them. And so you can use, you can crop down 4 by 6 photos to fit in here. You can also print your photos. You can also print your photos from like Walgreens or something like that. And they usually will have a wallet size option to print your photos in. So that's another idea. So this is how it looks, and let's get started on the tutorial. Let me show you the paper pad I'm using today. I got from Michael's when they were on sale for $5. And this is called Romantic Garden. And this is gorgeous. So we're going to use that today. And what I've done is I have picked 3 different pages of the 12 by 12 that I thought I would want to use, and I purposefully picked one that looked like it would be kind of a nice muted background to put my photos on. Okay, so I've got 2 really pretty prints, then I've got a kind of background print, so those are 12 by 12s. Then I picked another muted background page and trimmed it down to 8.5 by 11. So we have 3 12 by 12s and 8.5 by 11 of anything you want to use. You could even use solids if you wanted to. And then I have 1 sheet. This is going to make up our slip sleeve here. And this measures 6 1/8 tall by 7 1/4 wide. And we're going to start off by preparing our slip sleeve. So what we're going to do is score, let me get my stylus. We're going to score this let's see, 1 inch. Okay, so we're putting this in with the 6 1/8 inch side on the top, because this is going to be the top of our slip sleeve. Okay, so we want to score it at 1 inch from the top and then from the bottom. So I'm just turning it around. It's just easier for me that way. And then we're going to score it 3 1/8 in from each side. So I'm going to turn it around and catch both sides, 3 1/8. Okay. So we've done with that. We're done with our scoreboard. I'm going to take my scissors, if I can find them. Here they are. And what I'm going to do, let me see if you can see this here and bring it up here. Okay, you see this little square here where we scored 3 1/8 from this side, 3 1/8 from this side. This is where I'm going to cut on the score line up to the score, the 1 inch line. Okay, that's all I'm doing, is I'm just slicing up to that score line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently taper that in, okay, so that we can fold it and it'll lie flat. Okay, so I'm just going to do that now on the other side. Snip up to the score line, just on that score line that we made, and then just cut out a little slit. And that's just going to ensure that it lays nice and flat. Okay? All right, so we've done that. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold on all my score lines. Now you could have folded beforehand too, and I probably would have preferred to do that, but I just forgot. So I'm just going to fold all my score lines. This makes it a little harder to do once you've already kind of cut it, but that's okay. It can be done. So if you make a mistake like that, just never fear. Just keep pressing on, literally. And that's not a big deal. Okay, so now let's catch these score lines here on the side. There we go. And one more. And there we go. And you can see how our little slip sleeve is starting to come together. So these are just going to come together just like this and create our little sleeve. Just like that. Okay. Now this is going to be my front, so before I do anything else, I'm going to punch a little thumb hole with just a 1 inch circle punch. If you don't have a 1 inch circle punch, just going to eyeball center that. If you don't have a 1 inch circle punch, just take something that's round, that's small, like here I have my little dauber here. I could trace that onto there and cut it out, so anything that is the right size. So I'm going to take my glue. And what I want to do, and this is just kind of how I kind of altered the instructions a little bit, because I don't want this tab on the inside, okay? Because do you see how that tab right there? I don't want there to be any resistance when I slip my book in there, so I'm going to hide that tab in the middle of these two flaps. So what I'm going to do is put glue on it. Come on, glue. But glue on my flap. I'm going to lay my back panel down, and then I'm going to glue that tab. And I'm pushing my panel here straight flush with the score line of that tab. Okay, so now when we slip our album in, there's nothing obstructing it. It'll just slide right in, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. I'm gonna glue my little tab. I'm going to glue this down so that it's sandwiched in between. Okay. All right. Now all we're going to do, you guessed it, is we're going to glue our top flaps down, and then our slip sleeve is done. So let's do that. I put glue on this big flap here and glue that down. And I'm just making sure everything is square. You know, we don't want it to be wonky. So just make sure everything is squared up. And now the other side. And I'm just going to use my table to help me out here. I'm just going to fold that down, making sure everything is square. And there we go. Our slip sleeve is done. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's set this aside. Okay, we have a lot of cutting to do. These are very easy measurements, so we're going to do all the cutting all at once. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 piece. And we're going to cut it vertically with the 8.5 inch side at the top of the trimmer. We're going to cut it at 3 3/4. And then again at 3 3/4. And then we're going to take each one of these pieces and we're going to cut them down into 2 3/4 inch rectangles. So 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and then this one will be 2 3/4. So we'll get 8 of them. So we'll do it again. 2 3/4. 2 3/4, and that leaves us with a 2 3/4 one. Okay, so that we're done with our 8.5 by 11, and we've got 8 little kind of like photo mats here. Okay, so let's set those aside. Now, the cutting instructions on all of the 12 by 12s are the same. You're going to cut them all the same way. You're going to turn it sideways in your trimmer because I've got a directional, I have a directional print. All my prints, well, I've got 2 that are directional. So you want your direction when you're doing your cutting to face horizontally. So we're going to put this in our trimmer and we're going to cut at 4. And then 4 again. And then we're going to cut at 3 3/4. And that just has a little sliver that comes off. Now we're going to take our 3 3/4 piece and we're going to again cut it into 2 3/4 pieces. So 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and one more time at 2 3/4, and we have just this little scrap that's left. So each of your 12 by 12s is going to lend you 4 little photo mats and 2 long 4 by 12 strips. Okay, so let's do that to the other ones. So we're going to go 4, 4, 3 3/4, and then our 3 3/4 piece we're going to turn around and we're going to do our 2 3/4 photo mats. 2 3/4, just all the way down the line. Sorry, my phone is ringing. The answering machine will get it in a minute. So there's our other stack of photo mats. Our little stack of photo mats is growing. And we have 2 more 4 by 12 strips. We've got 1 more to go. So again, 4, 4, 3 3/4, and then our 3 3/4 piece, we're going to turn around and do 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4. See how easy this is? This cutting's really easy. And the last one, 2 3/4. Okay, so we have our pile of photo mats over here off to the side. We've got 4 different prints for our photo mats. And we've got, and you should have 6, we're done with our trimmer. And you should have 6 4x12 pieces. Now you're gonna need your bone folder here. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use a ruler, you can use this side of your scissors. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to take each of these pieces and we're going to fold it in half, matching up our corners. And then we're going to take each side and fold it back on itself. Let me make sure that I'm in frame for you. Yep. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the same to the other side. Just fold it back on itself. Okay, so essentially what we've done is we've made like an M or a W. Okay, so you're going to do that for each one, starting out with the right side facing up. Fold it in half. Fold it back on itself. Actually, I should have started it on the other, not with the right side facing up, but the wrong side facing up. But that's okay, because I'm going to show you how we're going to work that. So what I'm going to do is fold them each, one way and one the other, and I'll show you why. Okay, and then fold this one back out. Because I'm using single-sided paper, okay? These white panels that are going to show in our album are going to be perfect for our printed photo mats. See that? So I'm going to do them half and half. So one with the right side facing up and one with the white side facing up. So start them that way if you're using one-sided paper. In the album that I've already done that I showed you, I used double-sided paper for it. So I didn't really have to think about that too much. And what I did was I used a lot of solids for my photo mats because my background papers were prints. But we've got a mixture here. So that's perfect. Okay. Just one more to go after this. How did I do that one? I think I did that one this way. Did I? No, this is right. Okay. Now these pieces are what's going to make up our accordion. And what we're going to do is we're going to start layering them together and gluing them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my pieces out and just kind of see. I don't want 2 of these touching. Where these are going to fit together like this, okay? And I don't want the same paper touching. And I also don't want one whole side to be print and the other side of my album to be wide. So I'm going to be flipping them over, okay? But I want to decide first. I think what I'm going to do is make one side. Here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to make one side print, white, and print. And then the other side will be white, print, white. So that's what I'm going to do. So lay yours out however you want, but this is just what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do, see how these fit together like this? I'm just going to put glue on this panel here. And I'm just literally just slipping it in there. Now make sure you're not obstructing your score line. Make sure that it's going to fold nicely. So kind of fold it in on itself and make sure that you can freely, that you're not covering up your score line. Okay, and then I'm going to take the other and do the same thing for this panel here. I'm going to lay glue on here. Sorry, my hands are shaking. I take a lot of medicine for my psoriatic arthritis, and it gives me the shakes. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to lay this one on top. I'm going to make sure that I'm not obstructing my score line when I lay it together. Get in there. There we go. I'm going to kind of rub that, burnish that down. And that's one side. Okay, so we have white, print, white. And I got more white than I have print over here. And I have the same way here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to continue down the line. So we're just going to alternate. Okay, so let's see. We have a print here. So we want a white. Let's see here. Let's see what we will do. It's like a puzzle. I want to keep that one the same way, so I need to refold one of these because they're going in the wrong direction, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is just refold that so this can fit on here like this, okay? So now we'll put glue on this panel here. So it's just like a jigsaw puzzle. Figure out how yours is going to fit together and how you want it to look. Okay, so this is going to fit on here just like this. Make sure that you can fold it properly. That's good. Press that together. All right, and now we're on to a print. So let's grab a print here, and we're going to probably have to refold them a little bit here. That's okay. It's no big deal. Since it's scored, it's super easy to do that. So I'm going to fold this way so that this can go like this. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on this panel. Just like this. We're just going to fit this in here just like this. Okay. Just lay it on top. Make sure you haven't obstructed your score line. Press it. Burnish it down. Okay, and so we're getting there. One last one. Okay. We've got this one, and then I'll show you what the back looks like too. Let's see. We're going to refold this. So that we can do our white here. Lay our glue down. And there we go. Okay, so our accordion is all done. So this is let me show you what we got so far. So here we've got white, and then we've got print, we've got white, and then more print, and then we have white again, and more print, and then when we turn it over, we have the same. We've got a mixture of whites and prints. Very cute, right? So now what I want to show you something first, because I don't want you to panic if you make this project and put it into your slipcase, here's our slipcase. I want to show you how much room is in here. Okay, if you slip this in and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much room, it's going to fall out. Okay, after you put all your photo mats and your pictures and stuff, look, I mean, this is not going anywhere. It fills up that box once you have your book done. Okay, so now what you're going to do, I'm going to utilize a good amount of my prints here for my white spaces, okay? And now again, this is because I used single-sided paper, and I love this for single-sided paper because it's a great way to be able to use that white side. Okay, let's see here. We've got 4 of those. We have 4 of these. Okay, so here's our prints. Okay, and let's put something really beautiful right here. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is just run through here, and I'm going to lay down my photo mats onto my pages, and I'm going to lay them down on my white pages first because I want to make sure that those get covered. Okay, so this one's really pretty. I think that will look really pretty next to that purple. Okay, and then I think I'll do gray. I have most of these grays, so because this is what we used our 8.5 by 11 for. So I think what I'll do is put the same side by side, because these are going to be covered up by pictures, by embellishments, any embellishments you want. My album's pretty full in the slipcase, but I'll let you know that most of my pictures I double matted. So if you want to put embellishments in here and want it to still fit into the slip sleeve, just don't double mat your pictures. Okay, let's put this purple here. I've given this as birthday presents. What I did one year for my girl, my middle girl, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit while I do this. She and her best friend, when they were about 12, they have been friends obviously for many years, and so I made them matching ones, and I put, the whole thing was filled with pictures of them growing up, and they loved them. I've also done one for a baby shower. These are great gifts for baby showers. I mean, you can fit a ton of photos in here. Like I said, what did I say? It was 19 and 19, so 38 photos can fit in here. I'm huge on giving photographs, albums as gifts, because what a wonderful gift just to have just memories of your to have somebody gift you your memories so you're not searching through your phone. Now, the album I made here is for my middle daughter, who I talked about in one of my previous videos. She went to Job Corps, and I want to thank y'all for praying for her because she's doing awesome. I know I shared about some of her challenges that she faces with her bipolar disorder, and she has an anxiety disorder, and I was very concerned about how she was going to do in this atmosphere, and I want to thank y'all for your prayers because she is doing amazing. She loves it there. She loves her teachers. She is just, I can't even believe it. It's just amazing that she has adapted so well. I think it helps that she can come home on the weekends so she doesn't get too homesick. She stays in the dorms during the week, and then she comes home on the weekends. And I think that just makes a huge difference. She's really only gone from home for about 4 to 5 days, and then she comes back for 2 days, and then goes back Monday through Friday. And so I think if she couldn't come home, it might be a different story. but she can, so it's like the perfect situation for her. And so I just want to thank y'all for praying for her, because it's just, I know it's God's grace on her that is just helping her just adapt, and her teachers love her. She's doing really well. She's a good student. And now I'm going to flip over to the other side. Okay, so we have quite a few prints here. So I'm just like, so she wanted and asked for me to make her a small photo album that she could carry around in her backpack, so that when she got homesick, she could look at pictures of her family. And so what I'm going to do here, and because I forgot to do it on the other side, I just want to show you here. She specifically asked me to leave pages for journaling. Okay, so, and she wants me to journal in here. She wants me to write in here. So I have intentionally left pages blank for me to do that. So what I'm going to do is leave some of these whites here, because we are running out here of photo mats, but I want to leave some journaling spots. So I'm going to leave this 2 pages here. And so anyway, she's it just meant a lot to me, because you know, so many young people just, they do everything on their phones, and just that she wanted, I've been a scrapbooker pretty much her whole life, and she loves the scrapbooks that I've put together of the family. And I'm gonna leave another journaling. Oh no, I'll leave these. I'll leave those doubles. And so just, I just, it meant a lot to me that she wanted something physical that she could hold, not her phone, that had pictures in it and my journaling in it. So when she got homesick, that she could look at it, and that she could show her new friends at Job Corps her family. And that was just, I thought, just so sweet. And that means a lot to me. And so she's excited. I sent her pictures of the album. She said she loved the colors and that it was just perfect. And so all I have left to do in it is the journaling. So I'll use this. We've got a couple more left. I think that's actually going to fill it up now that I've left the journaling spots. So as you can see, super simple. It goes really, I did not film, was picking out the papers. So I am going to fill up these last couple spots here, because I've got 2 photo mats left. So all I did was choose the papers, and I cut the 8.5 by 11 down, and I cut the cover down to the size that we needed before I started filming. So the rest of it, you can see, comes together super fast. Okay, last one. This will go here. Now I have some journaling space. So we left that for journaling. And of course, you can always lay a white piece of paper on here to do any other journal, any of these print pages. If you don't have enough journaling space, just go ahead and lay a white panel down. So this goes in here. As you can see now, it's starting to fill up. So once you put embellishments and pictures in here, this is going to be great. Okay, so that's our project today. All I did for the outside of this one was run a couple of bands. So I hope you enjoyed this. I pray that y'all are all doing well. I'm glad to be back, and God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.